You are definitely at Onapedia, the one-stop center for the history of Uganda and the history of the rest of the world. Mine is Tony Geoffrey Owana, and in charge of all operations as usual is the one and only Herbert Semiano, son of the fallen Corporal Matovu Samuel. Rest in peace, Matovu. We are doing the work here with your son, don't worry. We've been away a while, but here we are back, and we have full packages. You are going to keep busy on Owanapedia for a very, very long time because we have stuff. Straight away, I must remind you that you must subscribe to this great channel, Owanapedia.
Tony Owana really loves our history. He has a passion for doing research, and he shares all this history with you so that you can make informed choices.
Banange, have you subscribed to Owanapedia? I don't know what you are waiting for.
And he shares all this history with you so that you can make informed choices.
This joyous occasion has been staged by His Excellency the President to acknowledge the achievement of the Uganda Cranes in lifting the Challenge Cup for Eastern Africa. I have been warned by the Master of Ceremony that I should be brief. We named this as a golden crane flying now in the air because they have worked as a team and they fought hard to bring the name of Uganda up. The moment the last goal was caught by the goalkeeper, I'm sure everywhere in East Africa where people attended that match became mad. Even a lot of social gatherings were disrupted. And I'm sure even those remnants of gorillas in the bush must even have joined us in the celebrations. This is a very effective factor, Your Excellency, of bringing unity.
Our job on the political side is to develop a capacity to ensure that peace in Uganda will prevail forever, for a very, very long time. Now, what the NRM government will do, and I'm sure we'll do it, and we have done it to some extent, is to ensure that we organize society in such a manner, the various facets of the society, that our society is immunized against disorganization and disruption, so that we are on a steady course of development. We have got capacity to do that. There's no, I don't think anybody should worry about that side.
What do we have this time round? There's a story that circulates that Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is not very interested in sports. I have my doubts about that. And as usual, Onapedia has some evidence to that effect. Where do we go? Back to 1989, when Uganda Cranes, the national team, won the Eastern Central African Challenge Cup, 1989. After many years of starvation, our team did it. The president, who doesn't like sports very much, so you say, he invited Uganda Cranes to a function at Nile Hotel, and it was covered by my senior colleague who has since fallen, Patrick Luwandagga. At that function, very, very many dignitaries and sports personalities attended. Let's go back to that event, 1989, where President Museveni hosted the Uganda Cranes and other deserving sports personalities, only on Owanapedia.
Following Uganda's victory at the 1989 East and Central African Senior Challenge Cup in Kenya, a presidential reception was accorded to the victorious Ugandan national football team, the Cranes, along with the sports fraternity. On this occasion held at the Nile Hotel, Kampala, several regional sports trophies that have been won since the NRM came to power were presented to President Museveni, who was accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Janet Museveni.
And then, of course, that is with the players now. The boys who brought the prestigious trophy here after a very hard struggle. This ceremony is attended by everybody, including all sports administrators. Of course, there is the Minister for Youth, Culture and Sports, Honorable Moses Ali. There are also other sports administrators and coaches. There is Major Francis Nyangweso here. There is Odeke here for athletics. There are, of course, everybody else, including, because what is going to be here is the presentation of the Uganda Cranes to the President. And this is what is happening now. The President is being introduced to his fellow citizens who went to Nairobi and they did what they did. And that's why we are here. If you remember very well, Uganda nearly got cheated. But despite the cheating, Uganda played it cool. When you must have heard, Hasule is introducing the president to his teammates. And they are very jovial, and the president is certainly very happy with all of them. So, these young Ugandans.
Your Excellency the President, the First Lady, Madam Museveni, the First Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors and High Commissioners, as you know, this joyous occasion has been staged by His Excellency the President to acknowledge the achievement of the Uganda Cranes in lifting the Challenge Cup for Eastern Africa. As is the tradition, Your Excellency, I would like to invite the Minister responsible for sports to start the ceremony of presentation of the cup which the players brought to Uganda. Mr. Minister. And now the minister is presenting the flag which they went to defend, the national flag. May I now invite the Minister for Youth, Culture and Sports to make a few remarks, and then I will introduce His Excellency to say a few words. Your Excellency, the President of Republic of Uganda, our First Lady, Madam Museveni, the First Deputy Prime Minister, my colleagues, the ministers, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, fellow sportsmen and the women, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I had come here prepared with my prepared speech, which I took opportunity of this time actually to brief you of my problems facing me in the ministry. But I have been warned by the Master of Ceremony that I should be brief because you have another schedule. Your Excellency, we are here because of that cap we have just presented to you, and we join you proudly to welcome the cranes. We named this as a golden crane flying now in the air because they have worked as a team and they fought hard to bring the name of Uganda up. The moment the last goal was caught by the goalkeeper, I'm sure everywhere in Uganda and everywhere in East Africa where people attended that match became mad. Even a lot of social gatherings were disrupted. And I'm sure even those remnants of gorillas in the bush must even have joined us in the celebrations. This is a very effective factor, Your Excellency, of bringing unity, that these boys, as you have seen from their background, has come up all out and put the name of Uganda, not only here in East Africa, actually in Kuwait, we would have brought the cup, but we missed the last score. Your Excellency, I will not bother you with a lot of problems in the ministry, but indeed is similar problems with all other ministries. But I think there is a little bit less attention being paid to the Ministry of Youth, Culture and Sports. The problem we are facing is, Your Excellency, which had been solved somehow by the peace your government has brought. Now it is our duty with the meager resources we have to spread the sports to the grassroots using this RC systems. We also wanted to use the schools from university right down, and we would like also to use the institutions like the armed forces, because these are organized people, and I'm sure there are a lot of plenty of talent. If we utilize it, we can get a better team. These people in 3 years will definitely be older than now they are, and I'm sure they will not be as effective. So we have to prepare to replace them as time is going on. The most important thing for success, as you know, Excellency, I would attribute this success to our training in Kuwait. When we were invited in Kuwait, we had been exposed to very big team and different surroundings, and our boys came back, I think, more prepared. And if we didn't go to Kuwait, I didn't know what the result would have been, because really sports depends also on training. Uganda is the sports in Uganda is controlled and promoted under the National Council of Sports. National Council of Sports, Excellency, is formed or established by Act of Parliament in 1964, and we have 34 different associations which are affiliated to National Council of Sports. Those associations are at the same time affiliated to international federations, like the FUFA is affiliated to FIFA, the Federation of International Football Association. Amateur is also associated to that. So in between here, there are some kinds of payment of fees, subscriptions. We in Africa, under the ban of OAU, we are also a member of the Supreme Council for Sports in Africa. And we have also a small unit, regional, sub-region of that supreme body, which is in Kenya, comprised of about 7 of us in East Africa. So the problem of subscription is not only to us, is to all poor countries. In fact, we are 36 people in member states of Supreme Council of Sports that are in arrears in their payments of subscriptions. Now, resolution has been taken, Your Excellency, from 6th to 9th of this month when we were in Mauritius, that people in arrears will have to pay 6,000 shillings by December this year. Sorry, dollars. And half of that will have to be paid by June next year. And the last half will have to be paid by December of 1990 in order to qualify or to be allowed to take part in all African Games, which will take place in Cairo, Egypt, in 1991. So there are a lot of complications. Therefore, second resolution the Supreme Council for Sports in Africa took was to establish a fund, trust fund, to support the sports in Africa as a whole. And some committees has been formed which will spearhead and will come round to, with the assistance of the various governments, to raise the fund so that people who may not be able to pay their arrears or their contribution would probably be helped through that. And some money will go to assist sports. I think I should stop here. The rest, I will make it in brief to send it to you. Thank you, Excellency.
Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and high commissioners, ladies, gentlemen, and above all, members of the team, the Uganda Cranes. It is now my honor and pleasure to invite His Excellency to say a few remarks to the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to congratulate the team for winning the Cup of Eastern and Central Africa.
That's Onapedia in action. Just in case you don't know, the master of ceremonies of this historic event was the late Johnston Atekerejalo, who then invited the Minister of Youth, Culture and Sports, as it was known at the time, then Brigadier Moses Sali, who is now Honorable General Moses Sali, who then invited the President to deliver his speech. When we come back at Onapedia, the President will continue with his speech and go on to be shown the various trophies which the Minister has spoken about, only on Onapedia. Wait for us.
I do not pay close attention these days to sports. I don't have the time even to go and attend the games. But I used to be a sportsman myself. In fact, I used to be a footballer.
Banange, have you subscribed to Onapedia? I don't know what you are waiting for.
Onapedia, Onapedia, Owana for history.